Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's regional news. The United States said on Monday it will donate 1 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine to Paraguay, offering relief to the South American country whose immunization program is moving slowly amid a new wave of COVID-19 cases. In addition, Colombia also announced on Monday that it will receive a U.S. donation of 2.5 million doses of the coronavirus vaccine developed by Janssen, the pharmaceutical unit of Johnson & Johnson. The Colombian president's office said that U.S. President Joe Biden told President Ivan Duque of the donation in a call during which they also discussed reactivating the economy, jobs, climate change, and shared democratic values and human rights. The South American country has reported more than 4.1 million cases of the coronavirus and 104,678 deaths. It hopes to vaccinate 70% of its 50 million inhabitants and has so far administered more than 17.2 million vaccine doses. Now for news from St. Kitts and Nevis. The St. Kitts and Nevis coalition government Monday extended the state of emergency by a further 6 months, with Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris telling Parliament it is a critical tool in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. The state of emergency was due to expire on July 7, but Harris said that it was being extended as part of his administration's efforts to protect the lives and livelihoods and contain the spread of the COVID-19 disease that has now resulted in the deaths of 3 people in the Twin Island Federation. Harris said while his administration understands that the temporary measures being implemented in the fight against COVID-19 may inconvenience many, these measures are being brought for one reason and one reason only, that is to save lives. The latest figures show that the Twin Island Federation has recorded 429 cases of the virus since March last year, with 127 having recovered. There have been 3 deaths. The government has already announced a 24-hour lockdown as part of a state of additional restrictive measures being taken to limit the movement of people in an effort to stem the spread of the virus. We now turn our attention to Colombia. Anti-government protesters in Colombia have toppled the statue of Christopher Columbus in the coastal city of Barranquilla. The figure of the European explorer after whom Colombia is named was dragged from its plinth with ropes and vandalized. The demonstration marked 2 months since the start of a nationwide protest movement calling for social reform. Indigenous activists see Columbus as a symbol of colonialism and oppression. The mayor of Barranquilla said those responsible would be brought to justice. The Columbus statue is the latest to be pulled from its pedestal as part of the anti-government protests which have been sweeping through the country. And finally, an update on the collapse of the Champlain Tower in Miami. Anguished families face an agonizing wait for information about their loved ones following the collapse of the Champlain Tower apartment complex in Miami last Thursday. 11 people have been confirmed dead and more than 150 are still missing. The search for survivors has been slow as rescuers search through the rubble in sweltering heat and high humidity. Those missing include a devoted grandmother, a beloved teacher, and the sister of Paraguay's First Lady. A correspondence from the board president of Champlain Towers South, part of which unexpectedly crashed to the ground last week in Surfside, Florida, describes the decay at the building since 2018, saying, I quote, "The observable damage, such as in the garage, has gotten significantly worse since the initial inspection," end of quote. Board President Jean Wodnicki addressed a letter to neighbors on April 9. And that is all for your regional news. Thank you for joining.